If you've got your sights set on an Alaska fishing or hunting trip in the near future, then one of the big decisions you'll have to make is if you want to do a road system trip or an off-road wilderness adventure. Whether you do an unguided, do-it-yourself style adventure or you hire a guide, deciding exactly what kind of trip you want to do and why will be the foundation for much of your planning efforts. In this video, we'll take a look at the pros and cons of both a road system fishing or hunting adventure in Alaska versus doing a remote off-road trip. This video is brought to you by the Hunting for God, Fishing for the Lord series of books. Come along on an unforgettable adventure for the soul. Learn more and order your copies today at Amazon.com by clicking on the link in the video description below or by visiting 3minutesoutdoors.com. Let's start things off by taking a look at the positives and negatives of doing a road system fishing or hunting adventure in Alaska. Road system trips obviously take place in locations that are accessible by the main roads of Alaska. These are typically locations that are in or around the main cities and outlying small towns of the state. A road-based adventure is by far the easiest and most economical style of trip to plan. Depending on the size of the nearby towns where you'll be fishing or hunting, there are generally a variety of options for lodging, such as hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, RV parks, and campgrounds. Again, it'll depend on the size of the town, but most Alaskan communities have enough resources available to cover your basic needs, such as restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations, tackle shops, fish and meat processors, mechanics, hardware stores, medical centers, emergency services, and so on. Because of the variety of services that are available in most towns, road system fishing and hunting trips are also by far the most comfortable and safest, especially for folks of advanced age or those who have medical or other personal issues that require a more civilized setting, at least civilized by Alaska standards. In towns that have popular fishing or hunting areas nearby, there are also typically plenty of guides, charters, and outfitters available too, which makes for the best of both worlds. You can have a great do-it-yourself style road system adventure with your group and also pitch in together and do a remote adventure or a guided trip for a day or two if so desired. Now, the major downside of road system adventures, however, is that you'll typically have a lot of company while out fishing or hunting in such easily accessible areas. In fact, depending on the location, you could even be subjected to true Alaska combat fishing, where you'll be shoulder to shoulder and mixing it up with hundreds of other fishermen. While some people actually like all the excitement and drama of fishing in the midst of a massive throng of fellow sportsmen, others do not. Now, road system hunting typically isn't quite as crowded as combat fishing, but again, depending on the location, you can end up with having lots of company and lots of competition, which doesn't always make for such a fun or successful hunt. If you want to get far away from the crowds, get into some of the best fishing and hunting that the state has to offer, and experience the true majesty and grandeur of the Alaska wilderness, then a remote off-road adventure will be for you. There are many options for such adventures. You could do a fly-out trip where you'll be dropped off in the wilderness by a bush plane service to fish or hunt a prime location. You could have a charter boat drop you off somewhere to fish or hunt in true wilderness settings. You could get out to a remote location with rented ATVs. Or you could rent a raft and do a float trip style fishing or hunting wilderness adventure, which are very popular and a heck of a lot of fun. No matter how you get out to the Alaska wilderness to fish or hunt though, you will have a significant transportation fee, which is one of the major cons of such an adventure. Hiring a bush pilot or boat captain, renting or hiring an ATV service, or renting a raft and arranging for drop-off and pickup is not cheap. But again, when you divide it up among a few people, it's not so bad. The cost will also primarily depend on how far you'll be heading out. It could be anywhere from a few $100 to several thousand. Remote fishing and hunting adventures will also require much more planning and packing than a road-based trip, as well as a much higher level of outdoor skill and personal fitness, as the Alaska wilderness is no place to fool around. You'll need to have the appropriate camping, survival, and safety gear and know how to use it all well. You'll also have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, at least to a point, as an extended stay in the backcountry of Alaska can kick your butt. However, for those of a more hearty, adventurous nature, there is truly nothing else like it in the world. Being immersed in the spectacular, breathtaking wilderness of Alaska, far away from human civilization, where your only neighbors are bears, moose, and eagles, is genuinely a priceless experience that you'll never forget and one that you will long for again and again. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel and check out the 3 Minutes Outdoors website at 3minutesoutdoors.com. And finally, if you'd like to support this channel, click on the link in the video description below to find out more.